All right, everybody. It is fight week. UFC 322 fight week. Della, Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. This is the best card of the year. This is the best card we've had since UFC 300. UFC 300 was slightly better. At least the prelims. This main card, I would actually kind of argue, is better. But the prelims of UFC 300 was too good to pass up on. But we are here. UFC 322. This is the best card of the year. This is what we've been waiting for, man. This is what we've been waiting for. But let's not waste no time. Let's get straight into it. Vyacheslav Borshov versus Matheus Camilo. Man, I think I think I'm gonna take Vyacheslav Borshov, and although I could definitely be wrong because I can definitely see Matheus Camilo winning here, I can't look past the fact that Matheus Camilo has never won in the UFC. He's 0-1 in the UFC. I'm trying to find my notes on him real quick in my notebook before I kind of continue. Here it is. Yeah, 0-1 in the UFC, submitted by Gabe Green. And he's got jiu-jitsu ability. See, that's the one thing right there against Vyacheslav Borshov, man. He's so easily beatable if you have grappling in your game. I mean, dude, look at his last fight against Terrence McKinney. I mean, you can't have an easier win. But I just don't know if Matheus Camilo. I'm gonna take Vyacheslav Borshov just because I refuse to believe that he is just in the gym every time and specifically deciding to never train on his grappling. I know it's still not good, but Terrence McKinney is a really good grappler. He's probably the best grappler in the unranked area of the lightweight division. So, although that is still an embarrassing loss, and he still definitely has holes in his grappling, Matheus Camilo being 0-1 in the UFC and getting submitted by Gabe Green, who is primarily a striker, no? I don't know if I'll feel confident because Vyacheslav Borshov has wins in the UFC at the very least. He has fought some of the best in the UFC, not the best, but the best of the lightweights, of the unranked lightweights. I mean, he's fought Terrence McKinney, but he's also fought and went to a draw with Nazim Sadikov, who is a way better fighter than Matheus Camilo. He drew with him. And he has some nasty hands. Vyacheslav Borshov does have nasty hands and is a danger to anybody on the feet, unless your name is Chase Hooper for some odd reason. But I'm gonna go with Vyacheslav Borshov, man. Matheus Camilo he could be a really good pick here, but you have to show me more than what you've shown me for me to pick you against someone that at least has experience in the UFC and wins in the UFC. So I'm going with Vyacheslav Borshov. Next fight on the card. Biasinger Susurkayev versus Eric Makhachev. Now this one pains me because I'm going with Susurkayev, and it pains me because Eric Makhachev is my boy. I took him to beat Cody Brundage, and he did. And I rewatched that fight. I do think that Eric Makhachev was the right decision in that fight. So I've kind of grown a little close with Eric Makhachev because against all odds, he proved me right. So obviously, I want to see him do well, but I can't pick him against Susurkayev. He is such a deadly striker. He's undefeated, 10-0. I mean, 10-0 is way better than 10-3. So I believe doesn't he have a 100% finish rate too? That I could be making up, but I feel like he does. But Susurkayev almost got caught at the end of round 1 in his debut. But it was he fought 4 days prior, so I'm gonna let him slide a little bit, And Eric Makhachev got demolished in his debut against Ruzaboev, I believe. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Eric Makhachev might be a sleeper pick here, but I don't think he should be a plus 675. I mean, those are just crazy odds, but Maybe he will look like a plus 675 out there. We'll have to see. But I am going to be going with Suzakaev by knockout in round 1. Moving on. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. Taking Fatima Klein, man. Just because of the finishing potential. Angela Hill is a lot better than her record suggests. 18 and 15 is one of the worst records in the UFC. But you have to take into consideration that most of her losses are absolutely robberies. Are absolute robberies, man. She won so many fights that she has lost in the UFC. They just don't like to give her wins. I mean, it's just what it is. But Fatima Klein, didn't she get a head kick knockout at UFC Nashville against Martinez, a Mexican girl? She got like a head kick knockout, right? I am thinking of the right woman, right? I'm not sure, but I am going to be going with Fatima Klein just because she is a bit bigger, she's stronger, she hits harder. Hopefully my little AC ain't too loud, but it's hot in my room, even though it's cold outside. I just can't. I have to go with Fatima Klein. Just hits too hard, and I see her. If not knocking out Angela Hill, she's gonna steal rounds with her power shots. So, moving on to Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. Let me just fact check real quick. Oh, I just want to give a shout out to Chris Padilla for following me on Twitter. Where's my right here? Okay. I'm taking Chepe Mariscal, man, because I know that Pat Sabatini's a good grappler. He's a great grappler with a 60% submission rate, but Chepe Mariscal's never been submitted ever in his career. And I like that here. I really like that here because Pat Sabatini, he got knocked out twice. One by Diego Lopez, which is not too bad at all. And then didn't he get knocked out by Damon Jackson? Uh-oh. How are you getting knocked out by Damon Jackson, man? What is wrong with my camera? There we go. Knocked out by Damon Jackson, man. Really? So maybe Pat Sabatini's working with a bit of a weak chin. Maybe, I'm not sure, but Chepe Mariscal is the thing about Chepe Mariscal is he's one of those fighters where he's not that technically good. He's not the best striker. He's not the best grappler. He doesn't have the most power, but he's just good at just fighting, and that's really what it comes down to. When you have a guy like Chepe who's just really good at just getting in there and just fighting, and he makes it real dirty. It's hard to beat those kind of guys, especially if they have especially if they're really strong like Chepe Mariscal is. And the one thing about Chepe is he will eliminate your gas tank, man. The pace that Chepe puts on is crazy. That's actually how he beat Morgan Charrier, just putting crazy pace on and tiring him out and just doing more, And I don't know I think that Morgan Charrier is better than Pat Sabatini. I think he would beat him. Like, of course, Chepe could be taken down. He was taken down by most of his opponents, by Morgan Charrier, by, this and that. But taking somebody down is different than taking somebody down and submitting them, which has never happened to Chepe Mariscal. So I'm going to trust in Chepe to survive the ground exchanges and get up and just kind of make it dirty and get Pat Sabatini out of there. I'm looking for a TKO for Chepe Mariscal, man. I'm looking for a TKO here. Moving on. Kyle Dawkins versus Gerald Meerschaert. I don't think I have to speak much on this. If Kyle Dawkins is if the Kyle Dawkins that fought Mikhail Pereira is coming in here against Jared Mearshart, he is going to starch Jared Mearshart out in like 2 minutes tops. I mean, I'm just being honest. Mikhail Pereira is not an easy guy to go in there and chin in a round. Mikhail Pereira usually damn near every time wins the first round because he's super wild and he's crazy and he is very powerful. Kyle Dawkins goes in there and just sleeps him. And Jeremy Mearshart got slept in his last fight against Olejchuk. I believe his name was, that Polish guy that is now with the Fighting Nerds. Mikhail Olejchuk. Now Mikhail Olejchuk is good, but Kyle Dawkins, I was not expecting that performance at all against Mikhail Pereira. Now maybe Mikhail Pereira just sucks now, and he's ultra washed, and and the old Kyle Dawkins will go in there, which I actually do think Jeremy Mearshart could have a decent shot against. But this new and improved Kyle Dawkins, he looks much better. So I will be taking Kyle Dawkins by round 1 knockout. Devastating knockout. Because Jeremy Mearshart in 2025, I mean, come on, right? Like, how are you picking him to win a fight? Moving on. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon. I'm taking Malcolm Wellmaker, man. I'm taking Malcolm Wellmaker. Now, I know that Cody Haddon is good, but there's just a few things here I don't like. This is short notice for him. Not too short notice. He has had a bit of a camp, but still not ideal circumstances. Malcolm Wellmaker knew for months that he was going to be on this card. He's been training, And I know that the switch up of an opponent could be a bit devastating for an opponent, but I mean, Surrey City, Cody Haddon's a bit better than Surrey City, but they're not too far off. So Malcolm Wellmaker should have been able to make adjustments to his camp for Cody Haddon in the final and during the final stretch. But Cody Haddon, man, 90% finish rate. I mean, Cody's a finisher, so he's a BJJ black belt. I mean, he's got some grappling. And that's the one thing here I actually think could trouble Malcolm Wellmaker is some grappling. If Cody's smart, he will try to get some grappling. Now, Malcolm Wellmaker isn't just an absolute lamb to slaughter on the ground, but he isn't a grappler. So maybe Cody could find some success there. But I don't really know if Cody Haddon can really, considering all the circumstances, I don't know if he's going to be able to pose much threat on the feet for Malcolm Wellmaker, especially since Cody Haddon is a bit open for shots. He doesn't have the best defense. Don't move his head too much. He is kind of there. He is kind of there to be hit sometimes, and he will slow down. Cody will slow down, even in 3-rounders. We've seen it before. He slowed down against Dan Argueta. Now, to be fair, that pace was insane, but still did, And Malcolm Wellmaker, I just see him being faster out there. Faster, more power in his hands. I think we're going to be seeing better hands in general as well, I think. I just think he's a better boxer. Better finishing potential. I mean, I can see him going out there and sleeping Cody Haddon in the first round, second round, what have you. And I seen a lot of people saying that, well, if Cody Haddon puts a lot of pressure on Malcolm Wellmaker, that he could cause some problems, but I don't think so. Malcolm Wellmaker specifically punishes high output against him because he's a sniper and he's a shot finder. If you're putting a lot of pressure on him, you're opening yourself up way too much for someone like Malcolm Wellmaker, who will very likely find that shot, in the middle of your combinations. Malcolm Wellmaker's faster than Cody Haddon. He's got more power. I do see a Malcolm Wellmaker knockout in round 1, maybe round 2. Cody's a bit tough, but don't know if. I think Malcolm Wellmaker's a bit special, I think he's a bit special, and I think that I think it's gonna take somebody ranked in my opinion, to stop Malcolm Wellmaker. Maybe I'm tripping, though. Maybe I'm overhyping him too early. But he is very young. He's like, what, 24 or something like that? But, yeah. I'm going with Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout in round 1. Moving on. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. I'm going with Aaron Blanchfield. I know Tracy Cortez beat her last time, and that's very impressive, but this isn't last time. You look at how their careers have been recently, and it's just not even competitive. I mean, look at their fights with Rose Namajunas. Aaron Blanchfield beat Rose Namajunas. Tracy Cortez got dropped and absolutely schooled by her. Do they have any other mutual opponents? I mean, Aaron Blanchfield took down and submitted Jessica Andrade like that. Had a bit of a scrap, but lost very clearly to Manon Fior, who I think would finish Tracy Cortez in like 2 rounds. I'm trying to think if they have any other mutual opponents. I don't think so, at least not off the top of my head. But I just can't ignore how very impressive Aaron Blanchfield has been in comparison to Tracy Cortez. So I'm going with Aaron Blanchfield. She's just a better grappler. She's stronger. She's bigger. She's got more power behind her hands, I think, even. Because she hurt Jessica Andrade on the feet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Tracy Cortez has ever hurt another human being in her life. I got Aaron Blanchfield, man. And Aaron Blanchfield probably feels like she has more to prove here. So, yeah, I got Aaron Blanchfield by decision. Moving on. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. I'm going Gregory Rodriguez, man. He's too well-rounded for Roman Kopylov, but I don't think that Roman Kopylov is that much better in the striking to negate the rest of the game of RoboCop. Gregory can grapple here. He is an amazing grappler. He is. He really is. He can take down Roman Kopylov. He can do work there. He's got more power than Roman Kopylov in his hands. Dude is unbelievably powerful. I mean, look at him. Look at his picture. Oh, I guess there. He is just an absolute freak of nature. And there's a bit of an issue. He is a bit chinny, right? He just kind of is. Slept by Cannonier in round 4, though. Slept by Bruno Fajeda. Wasn't he slept by somebody else? Chidi and Jaquani? No. Chidi, he had that nasty cut right here. I actually think he beat Chidi. Roman Kopylov, man, I don't know. You know? Roman Kopylov is good, but... And, dude, Gregory Rodriguez beat Christian Leroy Duncan. And what a win that is aging to be, especially after last weekend. Sleeps Marco Tulio like that. Nasty. Gregory beat that guy. So, he's good, man. He is really good. And I believe he's got power to shut off the lights of Roman Kopylov, or I think he could take him down and submit him too. Gregory Rodriguez can win this anywhere the fight goes. But for Roman, it just comes down to this. It comes down to the fact that Gregory can win this fight anywhere. Roman Kopylov can only win under very specific circumstances here. And I don't think Gregory Rodriguez is going to let him have that. So, you know, Roman coming off a loss to Paulo Costa. Now, Paulo Costa would also beat Gregory Rodriguez. I do think Roman Kopylov is tougher than Gregory Rodriguez. So, there could be something there. Maybe a head kick knockout on Gregory would be crazy, but I can't pick against Gregory Rodriguez here in this matchup, man. He just slept Jack Hermanson so badly. Not that Hermanson is any better than Roman Kopylov, but you know what I'm saying. I just think that Gregory is, I think he's better. he's got the tools to win anywhere. So yeah, I'm going with Gregory Rodriguez by decision. I would say is most likely. But yeah, moving on to Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. I'm taking Bo Nickel. This guy Rodolfo Vieira lost to can't even think of his name. That that's how you know it's bad. His face is the guy that had the cheetah print fade. Whatever. Andre Arlovsky? No. Arlovsky's a heavyweight. No, I have to find out who this is now. Because it's going to bug me and I can't do the rest of the video. Petrosky. Yes, Petrosky. Dude lost to Petrosky. That's all I need to know to not pick Rodolfo Vieira to win a fight in MMA. Bo Nickel's a better wrestler. Probably better striking too as well. Let's be honest here. Bo Nickel's got better striking. I think he's going to win this fight no matter where it goes. And I think he's going to get right back on track after finishing Rodolfo Vieira by knockout, I would imagine. Drops him, hop on top, ground and pound finish is what I'm thinking for Bo Nickel. Round 1, he drops Rodolfo Vieira on the feet, gets on top, and ground and pounds him to a TKO finish. And if he needs to, he can use his wrestling to throw Rodolfo around. He is good, and he actually just beat Trishan Gore, who I picked to beat Rodolfo. So that could be a bit of an issue, but I can't pick Andre Petrosky to win a fight in MMA. So if you lose to him, I find it very hard to, pick you to win. So I'm gonna go with Bo Nickel. Plus, he's just younger, more in his prime than Rodolfo Vieira is. And honestly, before the fight with Brennan Allen, Bo Nickel's loss to RDR was not aging that bad. It was aging pretty well, but then he loses to Brennan Allen like that, kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. But I'm going with Bo Nickel by knockout in round 1. Moving on to the main card, Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Again, why are we doing this with Benoit Saint-Denis? I get it. I picked him to lose to Mauricio Houfi, but Houfi really can't grapple. Why are we doing this with Benoit Saint-Denis? Why are we continuing this facade of acting like he's a good fighter? He's not. He's okay. But Beneil Dariush is just better. He is a better striker with more power. He is a better grappler. And I don't see... Oh, my PC turned off. Oh, it's back on. I don't see Benoit Saint-Denis having any offensive grappling success against Beneil Dariush. I see Beneil Dariush having any kind of offensive success with the grappling that he wants to on Benoit Saint-Denis. And I can see Benoit Saint-Denis is slow on the feet. He's not that powerful. Beneil Dariush is pretty powerful, especially when he swings those overhands. And I know that those are easy to get out of the way of, but Benoit is probably too slow to get out of the way. I can see this fight going very similar to Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mateusz Gamrot. Mateusz just couldn't hang with the scrambles of Beneil Dariush, and Benoit Saint-Denis is not nowhere near the level of a grappler that Mateusz Gamrot is. And let's go over a mutual opponent in Renato Moicano. Round 1, Renato Moicano took Benoit Saint-Denis down and 10-8'd him with nasty ground and pound control like you've never seen. Demolishes and dominates Benoit Saint-Denis. Second round happens. Slight edge for Benoit. But they stopped the fight due to the cut. Now, Moicano versus Beneil. Round 1 was very, very close until Moicano drops Beneil at the end of round 1. Which kind of is not a good look. You don't want to get dropped by Moicano. He's not a hard puncher. I'd even go as far as to say that maybe Benoit has a bit more punching power on him than Moicano. But I can't trust the defense on the feet of Benoit Saint-Denis here. Because, man, I think Benoit's only way to win is to just go in there and just straight up chin Beneil Dariush. I don't think Benoit Saint-Denis is good enough to straight up beat Beneil Dariush. I think he's gonna go out. I think he's gonna have to go out there and just chin him like Armand Sarukian did, or something like that. Something that says, well, he knocked him out, but could just be on the chin of Beneil Dariush more than, the actual skill set of Benoit Saint-Denis. Um, but I just think Benoit. I just think that Beneil's better. He is 100% a better grappler. Okay, Beneil Dariush is still yet to be out grappled in the UFC. He was out grappling Oliveira before he got killed on the feet. He out grappled Mateus Gamrot. He out grappled Moicano. Out grappled all these guys. Benoit Saint-Denis, he's not shivering me timbers, man. Benoit, I don't rate Benoit Saint-Denis, man, and it's crazy because it seems like everybody does. But I'm gonna turn this less into me hating on Benoit Saint-Denis and more on just analyzing the fight. Beneil Dariush is better, and I see him being stronger, being faster, hitting harder, and just being more skillful out there. But I don't trust the finishing ability of Beneil Dariush. I don't really think he's not a good finisher at all. So I do think this is going to be a decision, but I do think that he's going to clear himself ahead of Benoit Saint-Denis. But if Benoit Saint-Denis goes out there and wins, then I will change my tone on him. I probably should because I was very confident that that he would lose to Mauricio Huffy. So, and that upset me. But if Benoit Saint-Denis beats Beneil Dariush, make no mistake about it, I'd be impressed. Even if he does just go out there and chin him without showing that he's better in terms of skill, I will still be impressed because I do think Beneil Dariush is winning. I'm going with Beneil Dariush by decision. Moving on, Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. Oh wait, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit. There we go. I'm going Carlos Prates, man. But I'm a little tiny bit nervous. Oh. Why is this happening? There we go. I'm going Carlos Prates. I think that Leon Edwards is just... I see him losing in his career now up until he's done. I'm not saying he'll never win again or that he can't possibly win again, but some guys get to the top, lose, and they're never the same again. And I kind of expect Leon Edwards to be like that because I think Leon Edwards is mentally weak. I do. I think he gives up on himself, and I don't think, I know that Leon Edwards is good, very good technically, but I just think he struggles a lot mentally in the mental aspect of the game. And when things don't go his way, he just kind of does quit on himself. And Carlos Prates he's the only fighting nerd at the moment who has won their last fight. He is a very dynamic, brutal, dangerous striker. He's very powerful, very slick. I see him beating Leon Edwards in most striking exchanges on the feet. And I know Leon can grapple here. He can grapple. He can shoot for takedowns. He can make something happen here on the ground. But I don't think that Carlos Prates is that bad on the ground to lose to Leon Edwards because of grappling. I know Leon is a good grappler, but Carlos Prates is not a schmuck on the ground. All because he is a really good, dangerous striker. That doesn't mean that he can't have decent grappling. And that's something a lot of people just need to understand. Carlos Prates hasn't been held down yet in the UFC. I see this fight taking place on the feet 85 at least %. 85% at least on the feet. And Carlos Prates is going to crack Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards has been cracked by bro. Nate Diaz cracked him bad. Could have finished him if he wasn't trying to aura farm. Usman cracked him a good few times. Bilal cracked him with an uppercut, you know? Sean Brady, I think, even cracked him in a moment. And I know that some of these could be contributed to takedown threat, you know, being used, and Leon Edwards maybe trying to defend a takedown and getting hit, but Carlos Prates is going to crack you. And I'm not saying that when Carlos Prates cracks Leon Edwards that he's going to go down immediately, but it's going to, as I said earlier, I think Leon Edwards is mentally weak, and I think that once he takes a few good shots off of Carlos Prates, he's gonna forget the game plan. He's gonna panic, and he's gonna be Leon Edwards, and he's gonna make a terrible IQ mistake. You know, like shooting a takedown on Sean Brady. He's gonna do something stupid against Carlos Prates and get caught. I think Carlos Prates is gonna knock him out. And I think we're going to see a very bad downfall in the career of Leon Edwards. Although Leon Edwards does strike me as a guy that will leave before it gets too bad. He's not going to be Tony Ferguson and lose 7 straight UFC fights in a row. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. I could honestly see him hanging it up with 1 or 2 more losses, you know. Come on, PC, turn on. Dude, I don't want to edit. Come on. Okay, unfortunately, I had to edit because my PC unplugged itself. Where's it gonna continue though? I don't even know where I was at because I was fiddling with my PC for like 10 minutes. Carlos Prates is gonna crack him, and Leon Edwards is gonna he's gonna give up on himself again, and he's just gonna get slapped after making a bad IQ mistake. So that's why I think Carlos Prates got this in the bag. They're just at different points in their careers, and Carlos Prates is at the point in his career where he's succeeding right now, and Leon isn't. I don't see that changing. So moving on. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. This is the one. This is a big one for me. I'm actually taking Michael Morales here. I just think he is a better MMA fighter. Yes, Sean Brady is a better grappler, but I don't think he is a better fighter than Michael Morales. I don't. Michael Morales is well-rounded. He can strike, he can grapple. He's got very powerful hands that I don't see Sean Brady being able to take. Michael is just strong, elusive. He's massive. Undefeated. He's undefeated for a reason. 18-0, 18-1, you know? Sean Brady's a great grappler, man. One of the best grapplers in the division. Top 2. He's strong as well. Very knowledgeable in grappling. Again, I know the grappling could be an issue here for Morales, but I don't believe in the striking of Sean Brady. I don't. I don't think he's a good striker, and I think that this is going to be night and day on the feet. I think that the gap in skill is larger on the feet than it is on the ground here. And the physicality difference, I mean, come on. Michael Morales is a freak when it comes to physicality. Sean Brady isn't. He's athletic, but he's not Michael Morales. And I have a hot take about Sean Brady, man. That seems to be a take that nobody else really shares. But I think Sean Brady will quit on himself again when the going gets tough. Kind of like Leon Edwards, but maybe a little worse. Bilal doesn't back up anybody on the feet and TKO them. The only reason that knockout happened for Bilal Muhammad, the only reason, was because Sean Brady quit on himself. He quit. Bilal has no power in his hands. He's not even a good striker. But he puts a few combinations on Sean Brady and he just cowers under the corner of the cage. And I can't get that image out of my head, man. Because I know he came back and he beat Gilbert Burns. But look at the difference in the performance against Gilbert Burns. Sean Brady took Gilbert Burns 5 rounds. Michael Morales didn't even take him 5 minutes. Got him out of there in the first round. And I know Sean Brady is going to have the grappling edge here. But it's not going to be enough. Michael Morales is undefeated for a reason. Because he's tough. He doesn't quit. He puts in the work. He's a physical freak. This is how I think the fight's going to go. Sean Brady's going to look really good early. Couple takedowns here, couple takedowns there. Michael Morales is able to get up. But Sean Brady is very clingy with the takedown. So he'll take him down again. Keep the pace on. It'll be a really good first round for Michael Morales. But round 2 comes. Sean Brady starts to fail a few takedowns. He's thinking, oh, I had a very good first round. I'm not having a great second round. Michael Morales is going to be landing some hard shots, some jabs, some low kicks, some overhands. And Sean Brady is going to go, and he's going to cower again into the corner. Michael Morales is going to tee up on him. I think he's going to get a knockout over Sean Brady. I think he's going to knock Sean Brady out in round 2. Because Sean Brady, he needs to... A lot of people tell me, why do you think Sean Brady's going to quit on himself again? He hasn't done it since. He really hasn't had to fight through any adversity since. He even submitted Kelvin Gastelum in a round, which is impressive. But Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns, Kelvin Gastelum all showed Sean Brady zero adversity. So he didn't have to worry about quitting on himself. Michael Morales, I would be incredibly surprised if Sean Brady gets through Michael Morales with no adversity. I don't think you guys would understand how surprised I would be. I'd put my house on the line. Whether Sean Brady wins or loses, he gets dealt adversity against Michael Morales. And since the last time he got shown adversity, he cowered and quit on the cage. I see no reason to believe why he wouldn't do it again. Especially against a better, more powerful, more capable striker in Michael Morales. With the grappling to go with it. He is a good grappler as well. I think his base is, I think he's a mainly grappler, Michael Morales. Maybe not. But Michael Morales is really good, and I think he is going to present issues for Sean Brady that makes him quit. And I think Michael Morales is going to TKO him in round 2. Is what I think. So, that's my prediction for this fight, man. I got Michael Morales. Too big, too physical, too strong, too good on the feet, and not bad enough on the ground to just get smoked. So, Michael Morales, round 2 TKO. Moving on to the co-main event and the first of 2 title fights on the card. I've got Weili Zhang, you know. I've got Weili Zhang. Zhang Weili, however you want to say her name. And it just comes down to the fact that I think that Weili is just better. Shevchenko's going to be a bit bigger. But despite that size, I still think Weili is going to be stronger. I still think Weili is going to hit harder. Valentina Shevchenko is just not who she used to be anymore. When you compare these two girls' career, and you see two different results. Shevchenko is not running through her division. Zhang Weili is. Valentina Shevchenko, in her last few fights, got submitted by Alexa Grasso. Drew with Grasso, even though I think she won. Beat Grasso. There you go. Very boring performance at UFC 306. I think it was. Very close fight with Manon Fiorot that could have gone either way. Zhang Weili dominates Amanda Lemos. Hold on. What are Zhang Weili's last 4? Okay, her last 4 are... I'm only worried about the last 4 because I only talked about... Okay. Beat up and finished Esparza for the belt. Easy. Beat up on Amanda Lemos. Very dominant performance. Ran into some There you go. I'm not gonna lie, ran into some adversity against Yan Xiaonan, who dropped Weili once and showed some things. But Weili Zhang was robbed of like 2 finishes in that fight at UFC 300. She was robbed of a submission. Yan Xiaonan was out and didn't respond to the ref, but he let her get up and go to the corner. I believe there was even a ground and pound where there was just an unbelievable amount of unanswered shots that should have been stopped. So that fight went against Weili in that way as well. Yan was given a lot of opportunities that she shouldn't have gotten. And then dominates Tatiana Suarez. Undefeated Tatiana Suarez. So when you just compare their careers, Zhang Weili is just doing things at her weight class that Shevchenko just isn't. And this is crazy because this is the first time ever in the career of Valentina Shevchenko that I'm picking against her. I have never picked against her. I picked her against all Grasso fights. I picked her to beat Fiorot. I picked her to beat Andrade, Murphy. That's one thing. The Murphy fight took you 4 rounds to beat Lauren Murphy, did it? And you really didn't look that good in it? I'm sorry. Zhang Weili is just better. Zhang Weili, more wins and less losses than Shevchenko as well. You know? I just think that Zhang Weili is in more of her physical prime than Shevchenko is as well. So, yeah, I got Zhang Weili. I don't see a finish here though. I just don't. It's really hard to predict a finish in women's MMA. It doesn't seem to happen. But if a finish does happen, I still think it will be from Zhang Weili. Even though I do think the kicks of Valentina Shevchenko could present some issues to Zhang Weili that I'm a bit nervous for. But overall, I just think Weili Zhang is just better. Yeah, Zhang Weili. 3 rounds to 2. No 10-8 rounds. Moving on to the main event. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. I want to show you guys something before I really get into this. There's something, right, on my YouTube channel here. Back when Dana White went live, right? Back when Dana White went live and to announce this fight and some other fights, I made a video reacting to the, trying to find it real quick. I don't know how long ago it was that he announced these fights, but I'm trying to find it right here. 2 months ago, right here, Dana White just announced some huge fights or whatever. This is on my YouTube channel. 2 months ago, when this fight was first announced, I predicted that Jack Della Maddalena would win back then. And I'm still taking it. JDM, baby. JDM. I truly believe in the Craig Jones system of defending against Dagestani grappling. And when I said that on Twitter, I got a lot of comments saying, "You believe in it? He trained Volk, and Volk lost to Islam twice." When I say that I believe in Craig Jones' system, I don't always mean that they're going to win. It's just the performance itself. Volkanovski gave Islam Makhachev his hardest fight, being very undersized in comparison to Islam Makhachev. Defended a lot of takedowns, got up from a lot of takedowns. Round 5, he walks down Islam, drops him, and is on top for the rest of the round, landing blows. That is what I mean. You take Volkanovski, right? Size him up to Jack Della Maddalena's size, and I think he beats Islam Makhachev. Now, I know that size parity is a retarded concept, but Jack Della Maddalena is not far off. I think that Jack Della Maddalena has better boxing than Volkanovski. Volkanovski's boxing isn't where he shines. It's his overall striking game, his kicks. He has some of the nastiest leg kicks that he uses his kicks. Volkanovski uses his kicks to set up his hands and set up his combinations a lot of times. Jack Della doesn't have the best kicks. He is a boxer. He has hands, and his hands are better than Volkanovski with more power. And Volkanovski has been working extensively with Jack Della on this camp. Someone that's been in there twice against Islam. You know, it's always good to have people in your corner like that have been in there with your opponent. And let's not forget the Poirier fight for Islam. Now, while, yes, Dustin Poirier was not in his physical prime against Islam, his knowledge on grappling as a whole was better than the Khabib fight. Dustin Poirier was better physically in the Khabib fight, but he was way better mentally in the Islam fight. So that's where it gets a bit tricky. But I still think that Poirier, you taking that Poirier 5 rounds, almost 5 full rounds, is not a good look. Especially a grappler like Islam, who should be able to submit him, because Dustin Poirier is very submittable. Earlier on, it took him 5 rounds to do it. I just don't. There's a lot of moments in the Poirier fight and in the Volk fight that I just think Jack Della would capitalize on and at least drop Islam badly. I know that Islam is really good, and I can't believe I'm picking against him in a UFC fight. I haven't picked against Islam since the Charles Oliveira fight, UFC 280. I did pick Charles Oliveira. But I just think that Jack Della Maddalena's got it, man. When you really... Bilal Muhammad has trained with Islam. Islam is a bit better, in my opinion, of a grappler, but they do have similar grappling styles. Islam just has... Really, I do think that Bilal and Islam's fighting style is quite similar, but I think that Islam has much better finishing ability, both on the feet and on the ground. Islam is really good at submitting you, and he can knock you out, man. He has shown that. So I do think that this fight is going to be... I don't know if this fight's going to be a bit harder, because my thing is, I feel like if Islam Makhachev really gets going, you know, it's hard to stop it. So this fight is hard for me. But no, I do think this is going to be harder for Jack. Harder for Jack than the Bilal fight. I do. But I also think that Jack's going to get a knockout here. I really do. I really do. I feel like I'm yapping, but Jack Della Maddalena, I feel like he's got it. I feel like he's got this. Um, he has really good scrambles, really good at getting just up off his feet, man. Like the openings, the openings that Jack Della Maddalena can create on the ground are just crazy. I mean, you look at it in the Gilbert Burns fight. A lot of people, dumb people, absolute retards, were saying that Gilbert Burns was up 2-0. Not a chance, dude. Jack Della Maddalena, it was definitely 1-1. 100% it was 1-1. Jack Della Maddalena was putting hands on him, putting damage on him. Gilbert Burns wasn't ragdolling him like some would have you believe. And even then, Jack Della Maddalena broke his arm in the first round. It just is hard to fight with a broken arm. Like, it just is. And the fact that Jack Della Maddalena with a broken arm on his back in round 3 waits patiently for Gilbert Burns to move and then creates that roll, that scramble that has him gets back up to his feet and then land that knee that knocks him out is just ridiculous and shows composure and fight IQ that JDM has, and it is surely high. And you could probably beat JDM with grappling if you are just stalling, if you're laying praying. But Islam doesn't do that. Islam does posture up to go for elbows, to go for ground and pound, to go for submissions. And anytime Islam creates space between them on the ground, Jack Della Maddalena is so good at creating scrambles and getting back up to his feet that I believe that he will. And I don't think that Islam is just going to lay on him like a wet blanket. So I have faith in Islam to not do that. But Jack Della Maddalena is gonna win. He's gonna create those scrambles. He's gonna get up. And one thing about Islam I do want to bring up is that he does tend to slow down a bit. First Volk fight, he was shown adversity, and late he was failing takedowns and being a bit less effective at his game, and got hurt, dropped, and was getting pounced on at the end of round 5. Poirier fight, round 5, he actually wasn't looking that good until he ended up getting the Dar submission. So, I don't know. I don't see him taking that. Like, Jack Della Maddalena's on an 18-fight win streak, which is very impressive. He started 0-2 and is now 18-2, so there's talent there. He is special, man. And I knew he was going to beat Bilal. I knew 100%. There was no doubt in my mind he was beating Bilal. It was one of my most confident picks of the year ever. I'm not as confident against Islam Makhachev. But I am still picking Jack Della Maddalena. He will sting Islam on the feet. He's got better hands. He will sting Islam on the feet. He will create scrambles on the ground to get back up to the feet. He just will. And Jack Della Maddalena, man, he's going to get it back for Volk. Those are his words. I'm going to get it back for Volk. You know? And, you know, we'll see how the cardio of Islam is at 170. But Islam, in my opinion, is greater than Khabib. Win or lose here, he is to me. So, alright, I'm going to end this video here. I yapped for a while. I kind of wanted to get an hour-long video here. I'm not going to get it. But I feel like I said all that needed to be said between each fight. So, but we're going to go through my picks one last time real quick and just go through them. Just so there's no confusion. Vyacheslav Borshov, Sernger Susurkayev, Fatima Klein, Chepe Mariscal, Kyle Dawkins, Malcolm Wellmaker, Aaron Blanchfield, Gregory Rodriguez, Bo Nickel, Benio Dariush, Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, Zhang Wei Li, Jack Della Maddalena. What a fucking card, man. What a card. There's not a single... Well, I'm not really looking forward to Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein, but that's the only fight on this card I'm not looking forward to. So there you go. All right, well, I'm gonna end the video here. This was a fun video to make. I love making prediction videos. We're gonna end it here, man. I'm excited for this card. Very excited. I cannot wait for it to start. I'm actually going to the movie theaters for this one again. I went to the movie theaters for Pereira Ankalaev 2. And I actually got sent a cease and desist from the fucking UFC because I posted some videos and shit of me in the theater watching the fights, and I guess I showed too much fight action, so I guess I won't be doing that again. But you know, I got Della Maddalena in the main event, and hey, I believe next week, right? Let me just fact check before I do what I'm about to do here. Yep, next week, baby. Dan the Hangman Hooker next week. I'm rooting for the boy Dan Hooker, man. We gotta get it done. Get it done. So, all right, I'm ending this video here. Jack Della Maddalena knockout. Round 4. Thank you for watching.